NFL draft. The Nashville Predators got 2 wins this weekend over the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday, 5-3, and the New York Rangers last night, 2-1. The team will be back on the ice tomorrow night on the road versus the Minnesota Wild. The college football playoff first round concluded over the weekend as Alabama took down Oklahoma and Norman on Friday. Miami, Ole Miss, and Oregon also got wins over the weekend on Saturday, and they all advanced to the next round. For the Game Nashville Sports Network, I'm Parker Kelly.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
And hello again, everybody. Welcome in on a Monday right before Christmas. Man, it is hard to believe, but it is here. We are at the Putting Zone, which is located at 3040 Sidco Drive. They are now open, ready and raring to go. They got a big charity event in here late this afternoon that we wanted to be a part of, and here we are. First of all, Parker, thank you for filling in on Friday. If you think it's bad now, it was worse.
What do you mean it's worse?
No, it was worse.
Oh, it was? Okay. It was, yeah. I got a little bit of that too on Saturday and Sunday. I think I'm mostly recovered for the most part. Hot tea and honey really seem to do the trick.
Yeah, I've tried. So far, I don't feel like I'm in breakthrough territory. So we'll see how this goes today. Kelly, how are you?
George, how y'all doing?
Good. I'm guessing you can see a good shot of this beautiful course that Bill Rosigliano has put together. It's fabulous.
I have, yeah. It looks nice, man. Could work on your putting for sure.
God knows I need it. Although in a lot of cases, once I get to the green, it really doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many shots is it going to take you to get to the green? That's the question.
That was the insinuation.
Yeah, well,
way to keep up, Kelly.
A bunch. Easy there. Just because you're trying to restyle your hair a different way so we don't make fun of you, relax, Francis.
Hey, I've been doing this for a while. I had time today, and I just decided to do it.
Really? You
had time today?
I had time today. I didn't work out this morning like I usually do, so.
It's not working out for you. Go back to your old way.
No, Kelly, pipe down.
So you'll see Parker today. You will not see me because we've got just a huge picture of this monster facility. I first came in here when it was an empty warehouse, and to see it now is pretty amazing. But let's get to the business at hand. Every day during football season, we begin the show with Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. He, of course, is Main Street Media at TitanInsider.com. Terry, big win yesterday. The Chiefs suck.
Yeah, the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes are one of those bottom-of-the-barrel teams, and the Titans took full advantage of it. And if you're a Titans fan, I think there's really, some things to be encouraged about, because I felt like for really the first time all season, Cam Ward took charge of the game, directed the team down the field, didn't make any egregious errors, was on target with his throws, and really probably played his best all-around game of the season yesterday.
Give us the injury update, where they stand.
Yeah, Mike McCoy did not provide an update today on any injuries, but the one to be concerned about is cornerback Marcus Harris, who left in the second half with a knee injury. And it sure sounds like that the way he acted in the post-game press conference when he called it unfortunate, and with so little time left in the season, it sure sounds like Marcus Harris might be in danger of missing the final 2 games.
This injury report is brought to you by the folks at the Dr. Gill Center.
Are you tired of living with back pain? What would you do if the pain was gone?
At the Dr. Gill Center, we've helped thousands of people over the last 30 years break free from pain and get back to living life. We're committed to your outcomes, and our caring team listens, understands, and offers real solutions to neuropathy, back pain, and joint pain without unnecessary surgery or medication. Choose the clinic that listens. Choose the clinic that cares. Call the Dr. Gill Center today at 615-882-4838.
Let's make your pain-free life a reality.
So, Terry, the victory moves them down in the NFL draft. Doesn't the positioning now kind of prohibit the thought of being able to find a team that you can just get a haul for a quarterback?
Yeah, I think that probably is over unless, the Raiders or the Giants suddenly catch fire and win out in the final 2 weeks, or if the other 3-win teams happen to win a game, the Cardinals, the Browns, somebody in that range, the Jets, then the Titans are probably going to pick somewhere, I would say, between 4 and 6, most likely.
That has to change how they're thinking.
Yeah, because at that point, you just go best player available at hopefully a position of need, and they have needs all over the place. Receiver, edge rusher, cornerback. So, there's still a possibility they could trade down if a team is desperate for something at a certain position and they just, want to pick up an extra pick. But most likely, I think you've got to get an impact player when you're picking there in the top 5.
Terry, appreciate it as always. Have a good one. We'll do it again tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, George. Thanks.
That's Terry McCormick with his daily Titans update. He, of course, is Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com.
Now, time for America's favorite update. Let's get right into it, shall we? The Nick Saban press conference happened today at 1 o'clock. George, you were there. Well, we might play a little bit of it later. But it's been a big weekend for the Predators. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-3 on Saturday and beat the Rangers 2-1 on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a really good weekend for them. At the moment, they have moved up in the standings to the point where I'll bring it up. Maybe it won't mean anything. Hopefully it does. They're 5 out of the 8th and final playoff spot, 5 points back. They have a 6-game road trip. Let me take that back. A 7-game road trip beginning tomorrow night in Minnesota. Kelly, that's going to tell us a lot about whether this improvement is fool's gold or is it for real?
I know, man. That's why I was asking you the other day about Andrew Burnett. It's, you talked about everybody talks about his system. He talks about his system. You get a little bit upset at that, but they're starting to win games, man. And there's hope at the end of the tunnel. So, maybe they can keep it up and maybe they can, erase those 5 games out of being in the 8th playoff spot and get in. Who knows?
Who does know?
Some sad news. USC and Notre Dame, their rivalry is going to come to an end, at least for now. It'll be temporary. Notre Dame has scheduled BYU for the next 2 years in 26 and 27, thus ending the streak with their rivalry with USC. They're hoping to pick it back up by 2030.
What is the sticking point?
The sticking point? It sounds like it's on USC because, they already have to travel so much being in the Big Ten, which kind of sounds like a them problem, that they're dragging their feet trying to get something done, which is terrible for the fans.
Yeah.
So that at least the rivalry will be no more for the next 4 years or so. But
George, who do you think Notre Dame will pick up? Louisiana Monroe?
Well, he said they've picked up BYU. I know they were considering.
That's right.
I know they were considering Asia Minor.
Asia Minor.
It's one of the few places that'll play them.
The Kansas City Chiefs announced that they will be moving to the state of Kansas. I believe they're going to get a new stadium there in 2030 after their contract runs out with Arrowhead Stadium.
In a related note, their offense has moved to hell.
Yep.
They are dreadful.
Ugh.
And what you are really seeing, Kelly, is what we've suspected for a while. Patrick Mahomes was masking a lot of stuff.
Told you, man, Patrick Mahomes can do a lot of things. That's why he's been the most valuable player. That's why he's won Super Bowls. They don't. I told you on the phone this morning. I was in that office. They don't worry about protections, man. They allow him to deal with it using his feet, getting away from trouble. They don't worry about that stuff. And when he goes down, that's why I say all these running quarterbacks that are coming into the league, if you don't have somebody that's kind of like them behind them, it could get ugly for you.
Gardner Minshew was gone before the anthem.
Yep.
It was quick.
Kelly, have they called you to be on the practice squad yet?
No, and then if they did call me, they would get a flat no.
Good. North Carolina football has some news as they have hired Bobby Petrino to be their next offensive coordinator. Bye-bye, Freddie Kitchens. Hello, Bobby Petrino.
Wow.
Soon to be interim head coach Bobby Petrino, right?
Feels like those two deserve each other.
USF quarterback Byron Brown has entered the transfer portal. Feels like Auburn might be the move here.
That kid's a real athlete.
Really, really good. And I would not be surprised if Golish went after him because I don't know if Deuce Knight, their 5-star quarterback, is going to stick around or not. I believe Byron Brown has 1 year of eligibility left, so it might be one of those deals where he has to wait if he decides to stay. So, college football playoff recap: Oregon and Ole Miss won, and I mean we all expected that. But Miami beat Texas A&M 10-3 in the first round, and Alabama goes on the road and beats Oklahoma and Norman.
Yes.
That's all.
Good games.
That's going to come up later.
Okay. No, we'll save it. And then it was an exciting weekend of NFL football. The Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, Iceman, got a big win over the Green Bay Packers. I was watching that game with my wife, a native of Chicago. She started crying. It was a great day. The city of Chicago was rejoicing. And then DJ Moore wore a cheese grater during the post-game talk with Ben Johnson. It was a great day. Great day, Kelly.
So you're a huge Bears fan, obviously. Were you a huge Bears fan before you met your wife, or did that kind of accelerated your love for the Bears when you married your wife?
I'm a Titans fan, but because I married into a rabid Bears family, when they're not playing the Titans, I'll root for the Bears. I was happy.
Okay,
I was happy for.
All right. There you go.
And Thursday night game, we didn't get the chance to mention that on Friday, but the Thursday night game, instant classic. It was great.
It never came up on Friday?
No, it did come up. I just didn't get the chance to talk about it with both of you. The Thursday night game was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I think the 2-point conversion might need to be revisited as to what the rule is and what it isn't. The TV announcers didn't know. Nobody seemed to know.
The refs probably didn't know.
The players didn't know. I still don't understand it completely. Was it behind him? I don't think it was behind.
Well,
who knows?
Whatever it is or isn't, Seattle for the moment is in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
In the NFC.
Which is crazy. Crazy. The NFL in general is wide open. And think about it. This may be Josh Allen's best chance to get to a Super Bowl if there's no Lamar, no Mahomes, no Burrow in the AFC.
So are you done?
I'm done.
Any of you who subscribe to The Athletic, you need to check out a story that is their lead story at the moment. Behind closed doors at Michigan, women describe social media messages from Sharon Moore. Kelly, I put it out there that friends of mine up there were well aware of the rumors. And apparently the girlfriend lived in the same apartment as some Michigan football players.
Oh.
So for nobody to know anything, you had to be Helen Keller and stupid.
Yeah. We've talked about that.
Completely dumb.
Yeah,
So
George, we've talked about that before, man. People know what's going on, man. They might turn a blind eye to it, but you know what is happening in your program. You know what's going on, especially if that girl was in that apartment complex of players. They saw him over there. They knew what was going on. They were talking, because we've talked about that before. Players talk. Players know everything. They know if you're phony. They know what's going on, and yeah, they just turned a blind eye to it is what they did. They tried to sweep it under the rug. And I promise you this, if Sharon Moore had won games, we would not be hearing about this.
What is it that Cutcliffe says? Something about you're foolish if you try to trick a young person. So he says something along the lines of that. But George, I don't know if you saw this, but there was another little detail that came out that Sharon Moore was promoting this idea of taking a break from social media during football season to be locked in for 2025.
Yeah, whatever.
And then he was the only one that was on social media constantly and for the wrong reasons. So people had to be aware.
I'll read you this little piece of this, and probably not very well because there's a little frog in the old throat. Several Michigan players lived in the same apartment complex as the staffer. And one program source recalled seeing Moore there late at night, and Moore's SUV parked at the complex late at night on several occasions. Moore and the staffer were frequently spotted together in public after he became head coach, and footage of the two attending a Michigan lacrosse game aired on the Big Ten Network in the spring of 24. Ward Manuel, dead man.
Probably should be as well.
This
I would think so, wouldn't you all? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
Anyway, if you get a chance, pull up the story because it's pretty dadgum shocking.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read that at the break. Man.
Speaking of the break, when we come back, we'll get into some Titans analysis. It's not overly deep, but there's some things to talk about. So stick around. From the putting zone on Sidco Drive, this is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
Hey, George. As a 170-year-old clothier, we are loaded for the holiday season with great gift items for you or your significant other. Plus, we have front door parking, experienced associates to answer your questions, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable, even for you. This holiday season, treat yourself to a touch of luxury without any of the fuss. Levy's Green Hills, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
Bank and Trust. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
And we welcome all of you back on this Monday. We are at the putting zone on Sidco Drive. It is now officially open. They've got a really nice charity event going on in here right now. There are families who have been identified, for instance, from Inspire, which is part of the 510 Foundation. They're enjoying the putting and some Christmas goodies to go with it. Now, let's get to the Titans' victory yesterday over Kansas City. And let's start with the obvious. Cam Ward was 21 of 28 for 228 yards. It felt like by far his best performance. What did you all see?
George, I think they put a thing up on the screen yesterday during the broadcast about, the turnovers that he had in the first half of the season and then now what he's done. And you could see vast improvement. He's not getting sacked as much. I think he had 45 sacks at the midpoint of the season, and now he's got 15 since then. So he's getting a little better with that clock in his head. He's not turning the ball over. He's not fumbling the football. I think as a whole, they're getting better. Now, yesterday, we talked about it. That just shows people just what Patrick Mahomes means to that team. And it's hard to keep focused, especially since you hadn't been, I think it was 2014, since the Chiefs have not been in the playoffs. Somewhere around there. So it's been a long time since those guys have been this late into the season, and these games don't mean anything. So it's just human nature. When you've been on a team for, like a Travis Kelce, been on a team his whole career like this, and he doesn't have a chance to go to the postseason. It's just hard to be focused. It's hard when you've got 3 games left and you don't have anything to play for. It's hard. They weren't playing much yesterday, but I thought Cam Ward, I've told you this, man, I think he's getting better each and every week. You listen to some of the comments that Mike McCoy talks about, like he loves being coached hard. I think Cam Ward has, and I've told you all this before, I don't think he's ever lost his confidence. I feel like that he knows it's a process. He knew, being the number 1 pick, that unless somebody trades up that needed a quarterback, you're probably going to a really bad football team, which is this case here. So I think he's come into it with a great positive attitude. I think he knows that he's going to make mistakes in the game. He's going to have some ups and downs, but man, I really, he can make plays. I love when he got out of the pocket yesterday and ran for a first down. He can move. He can manipulate the pocket when guys are rushing him, and he can buy himself some time to get the ball. He made one great play. I forget who it was to, but he stepped up in the pocket, then he ran to the side, and then he threw it on the run. He made some really good plays. When you're 21 to 28 and you don't have any mistakes or turnovers, he's a rookie. He surpassed the Tennessee Titans rookie record of pass yards in a season. So I think he's the guy. I really do. And I've said that from the onset. I think he's playing well. I think he's getting better. I think he's going each and every day into that facility with his head down, working hard. And I think you're starting to see the process and his hard work pay off on the field for him.
Well, Kelly, I thought too of his best throws, not just of the game yesterday, but of his entire season, were on the same drive. And that one to Chimdike where he rolls out to the left and kind of flips it. I mean, that was very, I hate to sound like Chris Collinsworth here, but it was very Mahomes-esque right there. So And it was one of the better throws of the season, I would say. So you see glimpses of the potential that Cam Ward has. And this isn't the same conversation that we had about Will Levis, because we know Will Levis was strong and big and had a lot of the intangibles. But with Cam Ward, it's like Kelly talks about, he hasn't lost his confidence when it would be so easy to do so, because there's not a lot going right with the Titans right now, a lot of mess in the front office, not a lot of talent around him. But you see, okay, we drafted this kid number 1 overall last year. We see what he can be. Now let's trust Mike Berganzi to stack another good draft. You see the young nucleus, Cedric Gray, Alec Aomanor, Chimdike, Gunnar Helm. You have Skoronski up front. You have Latham. Let's stack another draft and continue to build around this young man and see where it goes. Kelly?
That's George gone.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I agree with you. And the one thing that I will say, though, guys, is he's got like that 4th and 2 play. When he had a guy in the flat and all he's got to do is drop it over him, and he tries to throw that. It's scientifically, you can't, it's science. You can't throw the ball sidearm and get it over to somebody. You've got to get over the ball. Now, sometimes he does throw the ball over, but that one, he let that ball sail over the guy's head when that's got, that in the, you're hoping in the years to come that some of those plays are going to matter, and he's got to fix that elbow angle. I talked about it with Will Levis, and I talked about it with Cam Ward here. He's got to fix that elbow angle. There's times you can throw, but that's how he throws. I understand it. I have seen him throw the ball over, and get his elbow up sometimes. But when the plays in future years come, that I know all the Tennessee Titans fans in big games come, you've got to be able to drop that ball over somebody, and he's got to fix that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you watch the quarter or the first round game between Oklahoma and Alabama, John Mateer, Kelly, did you see how his elbow just kept dropping in the weird arm slot? It was almost like kind of like Phillip Rivers, but the benefit
wears me out.
Yeah, the benefit Phillip Rivers has is at least he's a little bigger than John Mateer, but that kind of concerns me about Mateer getting to the next level. But Cam Ward, like we were talking about, he's got to get that arm slot up a little bit, because I was at practice all throughout the summer and I saw the balls just kept getting batted down at the line of scrimmage by the same couple of guys, and it concerns me. So there hasn't been a whole lot of that lately, but it's something that he can definitely tweak over the offseason.
So I'm going to skip past Jeffrey Simmons. We all know how good he's been this year. Monster year, shown so much leadership in a locker room that doesn't appear to have much else. Let's go to Tony Pollard for a minute. This is another in a series of things that Brian Callahan ignored, and that is Tony Pollard. I've made the joke that Chig Okonkwo was placed in the witness protection program under Brian Callahan. He pretty much was. Kelly, it wasn't all that much different with Tony Pollard. And personally, I hope they get him re-signed, because this is one area they don't need to worry about. Tony Pollard, is a pro.
I'm going to tell you, I'm really impressed. I was impressed with him when he was with the Cowboys. Like he's that fast twitch muscle guy that when he sees something, man, he goes, and he's not I don't think he's an overly big guy, but like he's powerful, and guys have trouble tackling him. And when he sees that hole, man, he can go. But I said it last week, and I think I said it the week before, George. When you can run the ball and have a running back that can get over 100 yards in the National Football League, then you're taking some of the pressure off us quarterbacks who don't have to. I can remember, I told my son this. I can remember when you hand the ball off, and then as soon as you hand the ball off, your guy gets smacked, and now you're 2nd and 15, or you're 3rd and 11. It gets so frustrating, and that just puts so much pressure on an offense, on a coordinator, and especially on a quarterback, because you got to make a play. And there was a lot of times when I was with the Browns, I lived in those situations, man. And it's in the National Football League, when you're 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, your percentage of making that is going to be way down. And if you got a Tony Pollard who you can hand off in the backfield on first down, and for him to pick up 4 or 5 or 6 yards and put you into manageable situations, especially when you get to third down, that's huge. But when he's got 3 games now in a row over 100 yards, and you see what the Titans have done. So I think you're right, George. I think he's a professional guy, and I really like Tyjae Spears too. They're kind of in the same mold. He's not a big guy either, but he's hard to tackle, and I think he's a little bit different, a little bit better of coming out of the backfield and catching the ball than Tony Pollard. But I'm with you. We talked about it, I think, last week. I think the Jeffrey Simmons and the Tony Pollard guys are 2 guys that you can build an organization around, and you got Cam Ward obviously now. You need to keep him on the roster. You need to re-sign him.
Well, Kelly, think about the dynamic of the offensive line, too. You bring over Dan Moore from Pittsburgh, and when Dan Moore's not in, it's Ali Udoh. And then you have Skoronski at left guard. At center, it's either going to be Lloyd Cushenberry, Corey Levin, Kevin Zeitler at right guard, and then your right tackle, J.C. Latham. Those guys have never really played next to each other. So it took a while. I thought it would take at least 3 to 4 games for them to really start gelling, but due to the Dan Moore injury that caused him to miss a game, due to the injuries and whatever is going on with Lloyd Cushenberry and them not being able to play together, J.C. Latham at the start of the year too, it's taken so long for them to gel, but now it's finally starting to happen. Cam Ward's only been sacked 3 times the last 3 games, which is a major improvement from what we're used to seeing from the Titans offensive line. And now Tony Pollard has 3 games with over 100 rushing yards. So it's really starting to come together, which is exactly what you want to see and should give this team hope.
Well, okay, let me, before we, declare them, part of the 4 horsemen, is this now us saying that they no longer have offensive line needs?
I don't know if that's the case. I think they need. I do think they need a left tackle, man. I think I think that's one of the positions in a draft when you're going to be as up as far as they are in the draft, picking one of the. I don't know how. What are they now? Are they like 4th? Are they going to be 4th or 5th?
Anywhere from 4 to 6.
Yeah, right now they're slated to pick 6th.
Yeah, so I think that if you've got a tackle that is worthy of that pick, I think you get him. But I think you probably do something with that pick. I don't know. But I think, there's always guys out there that are better than the ones you got. I hear what Parker's saying a little bit because it does take time. And that's what bothers me in this new era of our society, this social media area. Football takes time. All these older coaches understand that. Football takes time for guys to gel, and I think Parker's got some points there about the offensive line. Now, is that what they're going to stay with? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I know that they've drafted J.C. Latham. They got Skoronski, and Skoronski's probably played the best out of all those guys. Kevin Zeitler's been around for a long time. I don't know how much longer he's going to play. Sometimes, when you see him, he don't look like he wants to play much longer. So I think they've still got to go out and get a – I would go out and get a left tackle, but I would still firm up that offensive line. But, I think given time, I think guys – I love the way that all these young guys are playing right now. I think they've hit on some guys in the draft. I think Borgonzi has got some guys like Gunnar Helms, like the DK, Ayumanner, and obviously Cam Moore. Those guys they're playing pretty good. And when you turn over the offense and say, hey, we're going to go with these young guys and we're going to see what they do, and then they start making plays like they're doing, and they start getting in there and getting some game time experience. I think you're starting to see something from that. But, yeah, offensive line-wise, I still think there's some needs there.
Kelly, I would argue this. If you want fan patience, then don't tell the fan base that you're doubling their season ticket price the minute they get in the new stadium. If you want patience, that's part of the deal. If you're going to charge top dollar, then you got to be top dollar.
That's a good point, George. And they are trying to sell. No, you're right. You're right. But, I understand, and I know where you're coming from, but I understand that football takes time. It takes time for guys to grow into their role. It takes time for Cam Ward to grow into his role. And in this day and age, nobody gives that. But that's the business matter of this game, and everybody wants a new stadium, which I don't understand it. What's wrong with the stadium? Let's just do some upgrades. But everybody wants a new stadium, and everybody wants a Super Bowl in their city, so everybody's going to do it. And when that comes, it all falls back to the consumer.
Okay, over the weekend, Diana Rossini in The Athletic listed 7 names of potential Titans new head coaches. We're going to show you that list. And let me say up front that there was a freak out among people who were not happy with this list at all. Matt Nagy has been a name that has been out there from the very beginning. It's very easy to link him and Borgonzi because of Kansas City. Again, I don't know where any of this is going. For all I know right now, they may not either. I'll admit, I wasn't just blown away by the list.
Yeah, there's some guys that on this list, like the Matt Nagy's, which he's already had his shot. You see what Ben Johnson's doing in Chicago now. Obviously, the situation may have been a little different, but I don't know. He's already had his opportunity. I know that the Lou Anarumo guy from Indy was the defensive coordinator at Cincinnati, and he got let go there, and I don't know much about him. The Hafley guy, the Green Bay defensive coordinator, don't know much about him. I like the number 5. I like the Chris Shula guy from the Rams. I don't know. You just look at him. He looks like, and you don't know anything about these guys, but he just looks to me like his personality, his aggressive style. I think that's kind of what you need as a head coach. But a lot of these coordinators that go to be head coaches, you find out they're not very good head coaches, and then they go back to being coordinators, and they're really good at that. And then some of these guys move up from position coaches and go to coordinators, and you find out, hey, they're a better position coach than they are a coordinator. So you never really know, but there's always got to be a new group come in, and there's always got to be somebody different because the older guys are not going to stay there forever. And that's something about the NFL. There's change. There's always change each and every year. And some guys make it, some guys don't. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I was turned off by the Matt Nagy being at number 1 just because.
In fairness, I don't know that she ranked it
right
1 through 7.
Right. Just seeing his name, like, I can't get rid of that stench in Chicago. Like, I know it was a while ago, but I still can't get rid of it. And also, he doesn't call plays in Kansas City. And let's be honest, I mean, their offense isn't good when Mahomes isn't out there. So I'm not in favor of Matt Nagy. If I had to pick my favorites, like Kelly, I love the Chris Shula idea. I wouldn't be opposed to Jesse Minter, but now that Dillingham and DeBoer seem to stay at their respective schools, he's open for the Michigan job. So, and then I also like I wouldn't be opposed to Hafley, but the other ones, I think it's not realistic.
I think one of the keys to where this is going is that however the process is, the process needs to involve her as little as possible, Burke Nihill even less,
Amen to that.
because the two of them corroborated on a hire of a really nice man who was completely ill-equipped to be a head coach.
Agreed.
Let's just call it the way it was. Brian Callahan had never called a play, really had never emerged as somebody who ought to be at the top of a list. I believe that when it came down, that he was the anti-Vrabel. Not going to bitch, not going to complain, so we're hiring him.
I just would like to see, and I'd like to see John Fossil on that list. I really would. I don't care if he's a special teams coach. Special teams coaches have to deal with everybody on the team. It's different than the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. He has to bring everybody together and deal with everybody. You have to facilitate all that stuff. And I think John Fossil has kind of earned his wings. Hopefully he's here next year, whoever gets it. But I would like to see his name on there too. Energetic guy. I guarantee you the guys respect the guy. He's a hard worker. I would love to see him on that list.
What about Denard Wilson? Would you want to keep him on staff?
Well, I don't think that's what the question was.
Well, I know, but if we're just talking about coordinators being retained, Nick Holes is a dead man walking. John Fossil, I'd love to retain, but what about Denard Wilson?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'll just give it a.
That seems to be the consensus because, to be honest, we don't really know how good of a defensive coordinator he is because he doesn't have much to work with, especially when they started trading everybody and all the injuries to the secondary, and that's his specialty. So
I think what I really hope for in this is that the title general manager is given the leeway to do his job. If they really wanted a general manager in Mike Borgonzi, you got to let him do the job without a bunch of interference from people who don't know if a football's pumped or stuffed.
That's pretty good, George. My coaches used to tell me that. He doesn't know if a ball's pumped or stuffed, and you're absolutely right. That's what these guys are paid to do. You brought him in, let him do his job, and I like his first draft. I don't know how much of a consensus he got from everybody else, but I think he's hit on some of those players. Let him do his job and let him figure out. You know, the only thing about that is it scares me with Matt Nagy with being the, so ingrained in the Kansas City realm, and he came from Kansas City. That just, I know he's probably going to get interviewed. He's probably going to get talked to. Maybe a new set of scenery. I don't know. I just don't like that, and that's what scares me a little bit.
Well, Brinker too has the Green Bay connection for Halfley. And he'll definitely be a part of this. As much as we may not want him to be a part of it, he will be.
Well, the one thing you got to keep an open mind to, Kelly, just because a coach bombs at one place does not guarantee he bombs at the next.
Just like a player. I
always use the baseball thing. Joe Torre.
Yeah.
People laughed when the Yankees hired him. He was the one guy over a 10-year period who could put up with George, and I'm not talking about me.
That's right. And you're right, because some players are the same way. They go to another team, just like Sam Darnold's killing it right now. You can't judge a book by its cover. You got to get to know him. You got to sit him down, and you got to figure out what makes this guy tick. And
Baker,
you're right. Yep.
Anyway, we'll go to the break on that. And then we'll get into the college football playoff where there was maybe a surprise or two. And then on the other hand, some things that we all knew were coming. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
George, Levy's holiday collection is packed with bold looks, cozy favorites, and gifts that will make you and your loved ones smile. Come visit us at Levy's and let us help you celebrate the holidays in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere with plenty of front door parking, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable. Levy's, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Multiple different career paths and has always had this dream, and we're very glad to have him. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back. Those of you who are watching by way of podcast, you can see the picture of the putting zone. And in fact, why don't we just put it full go? Let's blast you out and blast Kelly out. Oh, yes. That's going to be fun. Okay. Y'all give me some thoughts on the opening weekend of the playoff.
Kelly, wait.
Thought? Can you?
I just want to make sure we can still hear Kelly while he's not on the screen. Never mind. We're good.
Yeah, I thought it was what everybody thought. I thought and it was the first time in the college football playoffs that a visiting team won, and there was two games that won. Alabama goes to Norman and beats Oklahoma, which I thought at the beginning of that game, Oklahoma was going to run them out. And then, I kept saying it's over, this game's over, because Alabama kept doing the same things they'd been doing in this bad stretch of playing that they've done the last couple of weeks. And then my son is like, Dad, you played the game long enough that it takes one play or some kind of momentum swing in that game to turn a game around. And when that kid got that fourth down play, the Brooks kid, and turn that touchdown, that kind of energized the Alabama team, and I think they said, okay, we're good now, let's go play. And they blocked that kick, and then when you look around, I mean, a 17-0 deficit disappears really quick, and it's 17-7. And then I think Alabama scored 27 unanswered points, and then Oklahoma came back. But I thought that was a great game. And then you look at the defensive effort when you go to College Station in Miami, what they did, their defense was unbelievable. They harassed Marcel Reed. They were not going to let that kid run around. And then they were able to get some timely turnovers, and obviously it was untimely for Marcel Reed when he throw. He had the guy in the end zone to tie the game, and he throws it behind him. A little bit behind him, and he allowed the cornerback to sneak in and get it. But I thought those two games were great, and I thought the other two games were what we thought they were going to be. And I hate to say that because I was from a smaller school as well, but it's just like Nick Saban talked about on the Pat McAfee show. He's like, you're not going to put a AAA Little League baseball team in the World Series, and I agree with him. That's why I think it shows the case once again for a Group of 5 national championship of their own. I love that those teams were able to make it, but where and Park, you might disagree, but I think where the difference is on that level to the Group of 5 level is it's the upfront people. It's the offensive line and the defensive line. They cannot match. And the Group of 5 cannot match the Power 4s with the upfront guys. Now, they've got guys that can run. They've got skill positions, but they can't do it up front, and that's where they get beat all the time. So I thought those two games were kind of a microcosm of why everybody's saying that the Group of 5 needs their own thing.
I wanted to touch on the Alabama-Oklahoma thing first with Latsier Brooks, the freshman. Ryan Williams has kind of been one of those guys that's been in witness protection, not because they're not getting him the ball, but because he's dropping it. He has 10 drops on the season, which is first in FBS. So it seems like a mental thing going on with him. But if Alabama was going to win that football game, which they did, it was going to be on the back of Ty Simpson and the passing game. Latsier Brooks, a true freshman, stepping up. I really thought the turning point in that game was the 4th and 2 they committed or converted on to score their first touchdown. And then from that point, they just got rolling, and Jeremy Bernard as well. The Miami-Texas A&M game, Kelly, you know I'm an offensive guy, but I thought it was beautiful. I enjoyed every second of the game just because they were playing aggressive. They were smash mouth football, really good defense in that game. And it doesn't have to be super high scoring for it to be enjoyable. So I thought it was good. I thought it was a statement that Miami should have been in all along. And they're proving that they do belong as one of the best teams in the country. And then the group of 5 thing, no, I do agree, Kelly. It's just there has to be a minimum baseline that the group of 5 has to reach. Because if you think about James Madison, they played strength of schedule. They have one game in which they played a top 50 opponent. That was Louisville, and they lost by 2 touchdowns. So despite the 12-1 record, you know, how did they earn their way into being in the top 12 if we're trying to determine a true national champion? It's just not fair.
Okay, let me run a couple of by you. Guys, to me, the decision by Marcel Reed to come back to A&M is the smart one. This year, he's got to work on accuracy. He's simply not accurate enough as a thrower.
Yeah, George. I don't know if that's his game though, George. Miami the other day said, "Hey, here's the deal. You are not going to run the football on us. We are not going to allow you to run around and make plays." They kind of pushed the pocket on him. He did make some things happen, and when Miami scored, I actually walked out the door. I had to go do something. I was like, "There's no way." And then I got home, and my son's like, "Dad, they marched the ball down the field." But yeah, you have to work on your accuracy. He does have to be accurate, but I'm not sure like. Yeah, you can work on that, George. But like I had it when I was in, of course, I went to middle. We understand that, but I was accurate my whole life, even when I was in high school. That's just something that came natural to me. I think that's kind of I know you can work on it, and it's got to do with your feet. But Marcel's Reed, his game is with his feet. His game is running around, and he's not a true pocket passer. Now, it's kind of like Will Levis when I talked about last year. When he knows where he's going with the football and he can get that ball out on time, he's pretty accurate with the ball. I think Marcel Reed's kind of the same way. But yeah, he's not ready to go to the NFL right now. First of all, he's not big enough. He's got to gain some weight. But with that being said, Bryce Young is not very big either. And he's got the Carolina Panthers in the driver's seat in the NFC South. So who am I to say anything? But there are some things that Marcel Reed has to work on for next year. And that was a good decision by him and his family of coming back to College Station.
Here are a couple of things that need to get mentioned, because it'll come up. If all you saw was the final score when it came to the Oregon-James Madison game, forget it. James Madison scored a bunch of nights. Now, let me say this. Oregon's defense is not good enough. And they're going to find that out down the road here at some point. That their defense, that's not a national title level defense. At least it didn't look like it a couple of nights ago. Here's the thing people have to remember. When the Boise States pulled the upsets in the Fiesta Bowl, those were all neutral sites. This is never going to be neutral site. These group of 5 are always going to get paired to go on the road, and they're going to get the crap kicked out of them. And we've just got to get real about it. They don't belong in this.
No, and the age of Cinderella is over, and the best chance that a group of 5 had was in the 4-team era when Cincinnati made it, because if they happen to somehow beat Alabama, they're in the national championship game. Now, if you have a group of 5, James Madison, if they happen to beat Oregon, then you have to go play Texas Tech, then you probably have to play Indiana, and then Ohio State, Georgia, whoever. It's just never going to happen. So we got to quit pretending like they're playing the same sport as the big boys. They're not.
Well, that's what happens in that BCS game, though. When Cincinnati played Alabama, you can remember what Alabama did with them. They just lined up and shoved it down their throat. That's what I'm saying. The biggest difference is the guys up front on both sides of the ball when you get to a Power 4 school against the group of fives, because all the big guys, you know, they're not saying that the group of five guys don't have big guys, but all the really good 5-star prospects that are tackles and guards and all that, they're going to the big schools, and that's where they get left behind is up front.
So maybe the silver lining is that this started us down the process, because setting up a group of 5 tournament, it's not that hard. A bozo like me can do it. I did it 2 weeks ago. The question becomes, is there a network that will pay decent money for that? Don't know. It's about time the group of 5 find out and quit sitting there feeling sorry for themselves and get on with it.
CBS Sports Network, I believe they'd do it in a heartbeat.
Me too.
I don't know how you can get rid of that rodeo.
I do too. I think somebody will do it, and I think people will watch, because there's some good teams in that league,
Sure.
like Tulane and James Madison were really good teams, and if they're matched up with similar people that are on their level, you're going to get some really good football. But it's the other day, like right when Oregon goes right down the field, it's just not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup for them. They struggle up front. They struggle stopping the run. They struggle getting pressure on the quarterback. It's just tough.
And I got to stop you there, because hour number 1 is in the books. I still have half a voice. It's amazing.
Here we go.
We'll talk about the matchups coming up on the George Plaster Show. If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. And individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400.
Looking for the best spot to watch the big game? Head to Beyond the Edge. Voted Nashville's best sports bar 3 years in a row. Located in East Nashville, it's the perfect place to catch every play. And now's your chance to score big. On December 26th, Beyond the Edge is giving away Music City Bowl tickets. Bring your crew, grab some wings, catch all the action, and come on by for your shot to win. Be part of the fun at Beyond the Edge, Nashville's best sports bar. Beyond the Edge. Great food, great drinks, and great times.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Brett Luna. Some scattered light showers are possible today, but rainfall amounts are going to be very low. The highs will be in the upper 50s. More light scattered showers are possible on Tuesday and Wednesday. For Christmas, we keep warming up. We'll have highs in the mid-70s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network. Happy holidays from all of us at the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Hey, it's Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier with the Chase and Big Joe Show and Weekend Huddle. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and thanks for making us a part of your life. Merry Christmas from all of us at 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Hey, Nashville drivers, what's the old saying? Drive like grandma's in the car. You know what she'd say. Eyes on the road, not on that phone. That text can wait, because distracted driving can take a life in an instant. Another driver, a neighbor, a kid on a bike, someone you love. When we all pay attention, we keep Nashville safe, and we make sure everyone gets home alive. Drive like grandma's always in the car. Zero roadway deaths, zero excuses. visionzero.nashville.gov.
No one in Middle Tennessee should face hunger alone. With rising costs and recent disruptions to federal programs, right now, too many families, many for the first time, are struggling to put food on the table. Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee is here to help and needs your support. Whether you're seeking assistance or want to give back through donations or volunteering, visit secondharvestmidtn.org. Every dollar, every can, and every helping hand makes a difference. Stand with us, because together we can end hunger in our community.
The Rich Eisen Show. Everybody thought that he was the consolation prize in that first round a couple years ago that Sean Payton was just left with. He just had to take the kid, because if he didn't, they were gonna have any quarterback. Dead cap and Russell Wilson, and everybody thought, well, Sean Payton, this is a nice parting gift for you. And what a combination those two have been so far.
The Rich Eisen Show, from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Now time for our stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. Despite the Raiders' loss, Ashton Jeanty became the first rookie to now...
Ashton who?
Jeanty.
Jeanty.
Do you not see the EA? Jeanty.
Yeah, but it's
he
Jeanty.
Call himself Jeanty.
How do you?
Ashton Jeanty.
I've
Yeah,
heard
absolutely.
everybody else call it that.
Kelly,
Yeah,
you look
come
like
on,
an
come
old
on.
man with your glasses.
I know. It is what it is, man. Got to see.
Okay, Ashton Jeanty. There we go.
There you go. There you
Became
go.
the first
Good
rookie
gracious.
I can't read.
You're like a little baby bird, dude.
I may need
You to
Kelly's
be-
old man glasses to be able to read this.
You're like a little baby bird in the nest, dude. You got to be nudged just ever so gently towards the edge. You know, it's unbelievable.
Ashton Jeanty became the first rookie to record 125 plus rushing yards and 60 plus rushing yards in a game since whom?
Kelly, would the name Marshall Faulk be crazy?
No, that wouldn't be crazy at all.
Okay. Let's think in those terms. Did what's his name in Philly when he was a Giant?
Uh-oh.
Is that a possibility?
Saquon, yes.
Yeah.
It may be. I'm going to say it is Saquon Barkley.
Yes, for the sake of
I think Marshall was a great guess, but I think it's Saquon.
for the sake of Ashton Jeannie C. Riley, show us. Oh, nice.
Nice, George.
That was big.
Are we sure we didn't cheat on this one?
How
no
would we
cheating?
cheat?
No wondering eyes?
How would we have cheated?
You sure you can't see it on the screen before I pull up the answer?
If that's what you honestly believe that I'm spending my time on, no.
If that's what you honestly believe, you're fired, Parker. Let's just say it. Tell him,
gone.
George.
He's gone. Merry Christmas.
Well, I thought it
You're
would
out.
be different. Kelly has his glasses now, so he might be able to see. So, oh, Kelly, why'd you put them away? Bring them back out. Come on.
So
No, I'm never.
those of you,
I don't use them much.
those of you who are looking at the picture to the left, we are broadcasting live from the putting zone, brand new and now open at 3040 Sidco Drive. Families identified as part of this party today include Monroe Harding, the 18th annual 18th Avenue Enrichment Center, Inspire program with Dr. B, and the store through Brad and Kim Paisley's place. Excuse the bad voice. Why is Alabama only a 7-point dog against Indiana?
You think it should be more?
Yes.
Okay.
Kelly?
I don't know, George. Maybe they're thinking that Alabama found something the other day. I don't know. I worry. Watching Alabama's defense makes me want to throw something at the TV sometimes. And actually, you can turn around and say, and watching their offense makes me want to throw something at the TV sometimes too, because you've got Ryan Grubb, who came from the Seattle Seahawks, National Football League, but like they did some different things and they started blocking things up in the second half. But get the ball out of Ty Simpson's hands, and They ask him to do a little bit too much, in my opinion. I think Indiana is a total football team. I think, obviously, they've got the Heisman Trophy winner. You see him in the screen if you're watching on YouTube, the Fernando Mendoza. I told y'all at the beginning of the year when I first saw him, I said he's the best player in the country, and it turns out that he won the Heisman Trophy, which is kind of crazy. But he's a really good football player. They block. They can open holes. They got the young man from Father Ryan.
Charlie Becker.
Yeah. They got the other kid. I forget his name. What is his name, Parker? You're good with names. The other
Mark
receiver.
Cooper?
No, the other guy. Yes, Surratt. Yes, he's really good too. So I think they're an all-around football team. And if you look at them on defense, man, to do what they did against Ohio State, and that was a great defensive battle. That was a great defensive struggle, kind of like the Texas A&M but Miami deal. But I just think they're a complete team. And, Paul Feinbaum said it the other day when I was watching something. He said, I promise you this. The kids that are playing for Indiana, not one of those kids, which I'm sure there's a couple of them, but not one of those kids was recruited, or neither did Alabama want them. So they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, and what they showed me, because I watched a little bit of them, but you really watch them when they get into the Big Ten title game against Ohio State, and you understand that those kids are physical, they're aggressive, they take on the mentality of their coach. They're very well coached on both sides of the football, and their schemes are really good, and they will out-scheme you. So I think this is going to be a really hard game for Alabama.
By the time we get back on the air early next week, there'll be a lot of Miami-Ohio State talk. It's the New Year's Eve game. And I know a lot of people are trying to say Miami will give Ohio State everything they want and then some. Do you all believe that?
I do not.
I think it's going to be very low scoring, to be honest, because I think Miami's defense, the way that they've been able to flip around, I mean, they gave up, I believe it was 10 points in 10 quarters last year, 10 points or something like that. I'm butchering it. And they gave up 10 points in the entire game against Texas A&M on Saturday. So the defense is completely flipped around. So will they be able to limit Ohio State offensively? Indiana was able to do it. Will Miami be able to do it as well? And then, of course, Ohio State's defense is the best in the country. I don't think Miami's offense is going to be able to match up very well. So I see it being very low scoring, but I think Ohio State wins.
I think that was an emotional win the other day for Miami at Texas A&M. Going into that place is really loud. That place is really, really loud. And I thought I thought their defensive scheme was unbelievable, and to keep them to 3 points, I just don't. Carson Beck, we see him on the screen right there. Carson Beck has not played very good football since he was at Georgia, his first year starting after Stetson Bennett left. And I just think that I don't know what's happened to him. The other day they won in Texas against Texas A&M because of their running game. I've said it the whole year. I think up front, Mario Cristobal did a good job of getting a really good offensive line, a really good defensive line, and I think they can move people. But now you're going up against a team that is built for that in Ohio State, and I think they're going to force Carson Beck to try to win the game for him, and I don't think he can.
Well, the Carson Beck that everybody wants to see is the one that beat Notre Dame. The problem is that Carson Beck never shows up.
I know.
We get that
I don't know what
times a year, and I don't know why that is.
I don't either. I don't know where he's gone to, but he's just not that guy this year.
Yeah.
I realize this is dangerous because, in fairness to Oregon, I don't believe for a minute that they came out of the locker room just smoking, hell-bent on James Madison. I don't doubt that there was some bit of letdown. But, Kelly, they got to be better than that defensively against Texas Tech, or they will get beat.
I think you're right, George. I think, the Morton kid from Texas Tech can throw the ball, and he's got some guys outside that make plays, and they can score the ball. And I think that's always kind of been Oregon's deal. Now we've got the number one Oregon fan on this broadcast, so he'll be able to tell us a little bit more. But I think
that stadium once before.
I know. I understand that you've made that perfectly clear, just like George has been, and he's been the announcer for every college team in the state and some in others. So we know that. Y'all have made that apparent.
Can't forget about the Yellow Jackets.
That's what I said. In other states, he's made that apparent, just like you have made apparent that you've been to Autzen Stadium. Nobody cares, okay, Parker? But
it's really loud.
I think offensively, I like their quarterback. I think they can move things, but like George talked about, I think defensively is kind of their Achilles heel. I don't know. Maybe they get on a hot streak, but I think this is going to be another good game, and we'll have to see. But if they don't show up, Texas Tech is pretty good. Like, I don't think we're used to hearing that as Texas Tech being really good come out of our mouths. I mean, we know Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield first went there as a walk-on, but this is a different Texas Tech team, and they're playing really good right now. So that's going to be an interesting game to me.
I do have an interesting perspective on this breakdown. Texas Tech has not seen an opponent like Oregon. The most common opponent is probably Utah, because Utah has a good defense and they have a good run game, and so does Oregon. Oregon's had to rely on the run game a lot because they've had injuries to 3 of their starting receivers. And they've been able to do it. So for Texas Tech, the defense is obviously going to be there. It's been there all year. It's a top 10 defense.
It's the best defense money can buy.
Exactly. Pun intended. But they got to be able to get 7s instead of 3s in the red zone. Their red zone offense has not been good. They've settled for field goals way too many times, and that's been on display, especially against BYU in both matchups. So if they're able to turn 3s into 7s, I could see this being a very high-scoring competitive game. But if Oregon's able to connect with their receivers once they are now healthy, that offensive line was able to protect. Will they be able to protect against Texas Tech's defensive line? That's the question.
Parker, the Big 12 has been, kind of offense altogether, but Texas Tech's defense is really good. Right. Is that going to be surprising to a lot of people that haven't seen them?
Oh, 100%. Because I feel like if you're logo scouting, you see Texas Tech and you see Big 12 and you think, oh, high scoring. Well, yeah, they can. But the defense is truly, when you watch them play, I mean, it's a different era. It's a different era in Lubbock. So I think that is going to provide a lot of struggle for Oregon on offense.
And then we have what ought to be one of the really hot tickets in the Sugar Bowl, Georgia Ole Miss. This is the way it ought to be, where you got teams out of the South playing in the South. Teams out west, not so much so. Can Ole Miss hang with Georgia? They did the first time.
I think they can. I think Trinidad Chambliss has got to play well, but this is the time of the year that when Georgia gets into these situations, they have such a good scheme and such a good game plan. Kirby Smart's been there. If you listen to some of his pregame speeches, his motivational talks, you understand why these young men play for him, and they do it in practice. He's tough on them. I think Ole Miss can hang. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Pete Golden and his new staff kind of formulates a game plan against Georgia, because they played earlier this year, and you can see what they did against you, and you can see what you did well and what you didn't do well, and kind of, because teams change throughout the year, so it's going to be interesting to see just how this matchup comes about. But I don't know if Ole Miss can beat them, because Georgia's been there too much. But just like Pete Golden said after the game the other day, hey, it's not really on me. That's what happens when you get to coach good players, and they've got good players there at Ole Miss, and I think they can hang. Whether they can beat them, I don't know, because I think Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs have kind of been there too many times, and they're kind of hitting their stride at the right time of year, and I just see Georgia winning this game.
As some of you all know, Lane Kiffin was very busy tweeting out, getting on Instagram as well, about how proud he was of Ole Miss.
You knew he was going to do that.
I want to vomit. You're the coach at LSU. If you were that interested in those kids, you'd have stuck around.
And if he believes he could win a national championship, Ole Miss had the lead on Georgia and Athens when they played, and now it's a neutral site. So I think that benefits Ole Miss, but I think Georgia's just scaling up at the right time. So it's hard for me to see this Ole Miss team beat them. Now, they did answer questions. How would they look offensively without Lane Kiffin? They looked pretty good, but it was also against Tulane. So now we got to see it versus Georgia.
Yeah,
George, let me present this hypothetical question to you.
Okay.
If you're a Lane Kiffin, just say you're Lane Kiffin, and this is hard to do now, but it happens every year. But if you're a Lane Kiffin and you get a school like an LSU that's going to offer you 30 or 40, now I don't know what the contract was. I haven't even paid attention to that. But if they offer you 30 or 40 more $1 million to come to them or stay where you're at, what would you do?
Kelly, I would have taken the LSU job, but I would not have played all the little games and gone on social media with all the this is an attention grabber. This
I got you. So,
absolutely loves the attention.
Right.
And
so that's where you're at. You're just upset about that, which that's understandable. I get it.
Listen,
okay.
He wanted everybody to know that his families were visiting Baton Rouge and Gainesville.
Okay.
It's very easy to hide that if you want to. But the problem is he didn't want to. He wanted everybody to know.
It's Lane Kiffin. It's Lane Kiffin.
I understand that. I get it. I just wanted to know where you came from because, nobody's going to turn that down in that profession. Now, I do agree. I think he thrives on drama. There's a lot of people that do that. I don't know how you – I'm not sure, though, George. I get what you're saying because I'm not on social media. I've never been on social media. I think that's the way our society is. But, I don't know how you handle that situation when you know a job is open and they're waiting on you. I just don't know. It ought to be in the new collective bargaining agreement that they need to have in college football to say you have to wait to talk to a coach until his season is over. That's just me.
They get around that with the agents. Nobody talked to me, but everybody talked to the agent.
Yeah, but here's the deal: in the National Football League, if you get caught with doing that, there's heavy penalties about that. So
fining
nobody, yes.
Well, okay, Kelly, and what's the word I'm looking for here? It is illegal to tamper with other teams' players.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck on that one. Anyway, I just think he's a snake in the mud. I think his players told you exactly how they felt. A bunch of them came out and called him a liar at the end. And I think this is who he is.
I'm not saying you're wrong about that. I'm truly not saying you're wrong. I just don't know in this day and age how you're supposed to handle that as a guy when he could have handled it better. And I would not have. Of course, I'm not on social media, but in today's sports world, these college coaches and these Power 4 schools have got to be on that, or they've got to have somebody handling that, because that's the way you approach these young kids now. You have something in common with them. But I just don't know how you handle a situation like that. And it's tough in today's world where you got an AD who's trying to make, some moves. He's trying to get somebody in there that he thinks could take them to the next level. And then that's where all this is wrong. I get it. I understand that, but I just don't know how you handle that.
I think the way this guy on the screen, John Sumrall, now I'm not naive to the fact that Tulane and Ole Miss are very different, but John Sumrall gave a $100,000 donation to Tulane to go out on good terms. The way that he did it, I thought was perfect. Now, I don't know how Lane Kiffin, he loves the attention, so I don't know how he would have handled it any different. I'm not going to act like I have the answer, but the way John Sumrall did it was perfect, I thought.
Okay, we're going to go to the break on that. And then we're going to open up the phones and see where you all want to go at 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. From the putting zone, this is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences.
You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. And you know what? They've got a staff that will make sure you have a good time. So don't wait. Go have some bowling fun at Strike and Spare, the official home of the 4th annual Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, let's get right to it. Your phone calls, and we'll start with Tony in Nolensville. Tony, welcome.
Hello, George, and I hope you get to feeling better. My wife is really sick, just like you, and she's tried everything, antibiotics, and she is really fighting it. And we've got family in this weekend, and it's this week for Christmas, so it's a touch-and-go situation in the Benaza household. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you know, the bad thing is I feel fine. I just sound like crap.
That's what she said when she made those 4 or 5 dozen of cookies yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
So, guys, I mean, we've talked about y'all touched on it a lot. I have too, about the group of fives. I didn't think we ever really thought they'd win, but I feel proudly for James Madison. They still got somewhat boat race, but they also still made it somewhat of a respectful game. They beat the odds makers. Aren't I correct on that, George? Wasn't it a 21 spread?
Yeah, they had a backdoor cover. What, with like 2 minutes left?
Right. So, I give them a thumbs up there. I personally think with the 2 no-shows in Tulane and Texas A&M, I think James Madison would have beat those 2 the other day. I don't know how I would have matched up, but that's my personal feelings. And, it's a shame that you see those type of games. You were hoping for a great game in the Miami game, and but with Texas A&M, they just never seem to get going. A 0-0 halftime. And let me say this to Coach Elko. Coach, go spend some damn money and go find a kicker up there in that 12th man. Surely y'all got somebody in that 12th man of 100,000 people can kick a damn football. If not, come get me. I'm 57. I have a hard time putting on a pair of shorts, but I know I can still out-kick your kickers. That was ridiculous to watch kickers. Couldn't even kick them any better than what they did. And
Tony, when you get the tryout, let us know. We'll come broadcast from it.
I'd love that. That'd be a great remote, wouldn't it? And also, guys, talking about the other games with Oklahoma and Alabama. Oklahoma, you know what? You got a good dose of real SEC tradition. When y'all hadn't been in these games like Alabama has, and Alabama, even down 17-0, I still didn't feel like they were out of it. And guys, y'all are right. That 4th and 2 was the turning point play. You can see the momentum shift. And when you saw that happen, you could almost see it. And Parker, you've alluded to it. Kelly, you and your son talked about it. George, you can always see the air being sucked out of the team that had the momentum. And you could see that in Oklahoma, and you start seeing the pressing, that somebody's trying to do too much or more than what they should be instead of just doing their jobs. And like I say, I could see it. You can see it. We all saw it on TV. So I think we're going to have some great matchups. What's coming, on January 1st. And also, if you didn't catch it, guys, I watched a good football game on the FCS level with Montana and Montana State. That was a fun game to watch. I think Nashville's going to get a real good championship game here in Montana State and Illinois State. It's going to be fun to see how these guys do, and it's going to be fun to see what type of crowd we get, not having the big Dakota teams here. So I'm going to leave you alone. Merry Christmas to everybody. Everybody stay safe. And, George, good luck to you getting over some of this mess.
Hey, thank you. And same to your wife.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much. See you guys.
Merry Christmas. Let's go to Clay on line 2. Clay, what's shaking?
George, how are you?
Good. Hope you are.
I guess your voice has been better at times, though.
At times. I'm shocked it's made it this far, but, with God's help, all things are possible.
Mr. Holcomb, how are things with you?
Things are great, Clay. How about yourself, big dog?
I'm doing good.
Sweet.
Guys, and I'm serious when I say this, and Kelly, you can probably relate.
Clay, am I chopped liver?
What's that?
Am I chopped liver, Clay?
No, I was going to get to you, Parker, because I didn't want to get you to get.
You know, I get my feelings hurt, Clay.
I know you kind of get the Billy treatment a little bit sometimes for Kelly, but that's okay. No, what I was going to say was, George, I'm just, because you know her, I'm just very thankful to have another Christmas with my mother. she's amazing, George. She really is. 98, headed towards 99, and I'm pretty confident she will make her 99th birthday.
Wow. You know, Clay, we have a lady at our church who will turn 100 in 4 months, and it is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've decided I don't know that I want any part of 98. Give me about 85 and I'm good.
We'll work on that.
I wanted to talk, if I could, a little basketball today and pose a question because with football being, the kingpin, I guess, it's like nobody cares about college basketball, until the conferences start. And right here locally, we've got a very good basketball team, George. I mean, they beat the snot out of Wake Forest.
Yeah, this is, I saw today, AP has Vandy ranked 11th, and they probably should be. I mean, they've steamrolled a bunch of people. Now, there'll come a point when they get into SEC play where it won't be this easy, but Lenardi has them as a 3 seed, and that's pretty damn good.
George, do you think, let's say Mark Byington goes on a pretty good run this year in the NCAA tournament, because I think the potential is there. We just got through having to lock up one coach. Do you think, and I don't mean this in any kind of a negative way, because I think Mark Byington is a terrific basketball coach. Do you see him being a guy that stays at Vandy for a long time?
I have no idea. All I can do is really go by what he said. He said he's happy here. I think a lot of it becomes what level of NIL money does he have? And I don't think it's at nearly the comfort level that football is. Sankey put out a directive about how schools should handle the money, and it was very one-sided toward football. And I think, if I'm them, I'd tell Greg Sankey, listen, you balance the SEC office budget, we'll balance this. We don't need your help.
I guess the one thing that could be a concern for Vanderbilt as they head into the SEC is, what do they do as far as, a lot of teams. I think about the Arkansas game last year, and it was nothing but a dunk joke. He's a tall white kid. But what does Mark Byington do, defensively against some of these teams, these really good big guys? I'm curious to see if this, and I may butcher his name, is it Lavalette, the tall freshman? Is that his name?
Don't know, but, here's the thing. They're athletic enough to go up against most anybody, and that hadn't always been the case at Vandy. I thought what he did a year ago was with smoke and mirrors to get them in the tournament. This team, they've got some talent. They've got some athletic ability that I've never seen before at Vandy.
Yeah, Coach Byington, in a post-game press conference for one of the games, I don't think as a matter of fact, I think he's been a little ticked off at, the attendance. But, I guess what he doesn't understand, maybe he does, but, it's not the only game in town anymore. There's so much to do in Nashville, and you can, I guess, pick apart their non-conference schedule. They probably played one of the easier non-conference schedules that they've played in a long time. But I've got to believe, especially with the home opener being Alabama, I've got to believe pretty soon Memorial Gym's really going to be rocking, because people need to turn out to see this team play because they're really good.
They're pretty good. Hey, Clay, got to run. Merry Christmas to you, and you give your mom a kiss for me.
I sure will. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Hey, she's 98, Connie King.
Man, I need to ask her what she's doing to stay so healthy so I can try to replicate it.
No kidding. Eric is on line 3. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, George, first of all, George, I hope you feel better as well. I've heard from this week, apparently, with these up and down temperatures, you're supposed to be in the low 70s this week around Christmas. And then I've heard next Monday the bottom is supposed to drop out. The highs are only going to be like in the low to mid 30s by next month.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. That's just what we need.
Yeah, Christmas weather a week late. And I also heard something else on the news. I don't know when, but Dalton and White Bridge Road is supposed to be closing. I saw a clip of that. I don't know when, but I saw that.
Huh. I had not heard that. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know when, but they've got a story coming up that later on in the news. George, as far as Lane Kiffin, one thing real quick, don't be surprised if eventually the Alabama job comes open. He puts the name in for that. I've heard that's the job he really wanted, and it wouldn't have shocked me if the Alabama moved up to Caleb Lamar. He wanted to kind of backtrack and take the Alabama job because that's the job he's really coveted. So watch out whenever that becomes open.
Well, when he was down 17-0, they may have had the moving van ordered.
You're probably right. George, as far as the Titans, I was real happy for the win yesterday. Did I expect that? No, I thought it was going to be a close, low-scoring game. I know a lot of people will say, well, Mahomes was out, and then Gardner Minshew got hurt. But I don't sneeze at Gardner Minshew. He's given us fits when he played with both Jacksonville and the Colts in this division. So was no gimme. But I tell you what, especially Jeffrey Simmons, after the week he had been through with the whole thing going on with his house, the fact he had the safety, 2 deflected passes, 2 tackles for losses. He had the sack taken away, and that whole thing that was wild is he did report. I saw it on the video when I got home because I was at the game, but I should have suspected something when they didn't announce it coming in because I didn't know what was in there. But it was just frustrating. They took away that touchdown. But it is what it is. And also with the running game going on and the way Cam Ward played yesterday, so hopefully stop all this talk about benching him. And I've heard people complain, oh, we blew the draft pick. I said, I'm not worried about that. The team needs to win and try and build up some confidence with these players, guys. I mean, that's what this team really, really needs. I mean, it's just frustrating when you keep hearing about that type of nonsense. But hopefully they can keep it up. And I'm also kind of surprised I saw the line where the Saints are like a 2.5-point favorite this week. I was kind of a little bit surprised by that.
Well, they've played very well since Tyler Shuck took over at quarterback. You know, once Spencer Rattler got hurt or didn't perform real well, Shuck's come in, done really well for them. And that'll be a good test Sunday.
George, one last thing, and then I'll get off and let you get some other callers. We're talking about coaches potentially coming here. I told you mentioned that earlier. I'm hoping one name that's not on the list is Mike McCarthy, and here's my reasons. I've heard a lot of people hoping that he gets the job, and I've heard you say, well, he won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, which is true, but they don't talk about his tenure in Dallas. And here's my issues with him, because I remember his tenure growing up as a Cowboys fan. He had issues with situational football. He had issues with clock management, time management, making adjustments. And also, if you remember his time there, the Cowboys were one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. I remember that. So that's kind of why I'm kind of not sold on him. I've heard a lot of people throwing out his name for this job, but that's kind of why I don't want him here if that's kind of one of the guys that's settling on. George, if I don't talk to you again, you have a Merry Christmas. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, same to you and your family. Let's get Jeff in Murfreesboro. Jeff, welcome.
How you doing?
Good.
First of all, since I didn't watch a little bit of most of the Alabama and Oklahoma game, but I know people say they shouldn't be in the playoffs, but all they want is an opportunity, the small schools. But I know people don't want them, but I've heard people say on Twitter one guy wants a 24-team playoff and get rid of the bowls entirely. Not even have bowls anymore, just have the playoff, which whatever they want to do, they're going to figure it out. So I'm not too all worried about that too much. I mean, it's going to shake itself out, but they're not going to play any less games. I can tell you, they're not taking games away. They're not going to take them. It'll be 17, 18, 19, whatever they're going to play, and they'll play in the March if they can do it. I guarantee you on that. It's like the NFL, they end in February now. They used to in the middle of January. I mean, they could finish in May if they wanted to and have 2 weeks off and play again. If you want to be honest with you, but I do want to talk about college basketball. Watch Kentucky this weekend; they're getting a little better. Their last 2 games, they've overcome 7-point deficits to win. They beat St. John Saturday, which didn't think they were going to do. Clayton's his first game, he really showed out, and that's why the NBA scouts are love him. And Patino pretty much lambasted the whole media, which I loved, and defended Pope for coaching and things like that. I appreciate what Rick did, Patino did with that, and everything. So they're playing better. But towards, I was looking at Vanderbilt's schedule. Their first 5 games, they played 2 SWAC teams, 2 Atlantic Suns, and an American. The best teams they played, maybe Western Kentucky, and I guess St. Mary's, if you want to figure that out, and then maybe Memphis. I don't know what's happened to Memphis. They couldn't even beat Mississippi State the other night. I mean, they're 4-7. I don't know what's going on with them. So, I mean, this stuff, they haven't played many people yet. I'm not saying they're real good or what, but, I mean, and also you were the same one last year that said get rid of Hubert Davis. You remember that? Get rid of him, and it's Carolina's not the same way. Well, they're 12-1 right now. So I'm saying right now, North Carolina fans are glad you're not part of the administration, because you probably would have fired him, and they'd still be in a bunch of a world of hurt when you got through with messing that program up. Because I wouldn't have fired him. He had great recruits coming in. Everybody knew it. The whole administration knew he had one of the best recruiting classes, and they're showing it right now. They're playing really good basketball. They won in Rupp. I mean, I didn't like they won in Rupp, but that's the way it is. But and Kelly, I know Kelly can't hear me, but Kelly, have a good Christmas, and I hope you and Lori are doing well. See you.
Jeff in Murfreesboro, you're up next.
How's it going, George?
Good.
First of all, I just want to say, when you commit 6 turnovers in 2 years against a team you're going to lose, Oklahoma's kicker is the best kicker in America. He should be an All-American.
He's a
and
stud.
He should be up for draft pick in the NFL. I laugh if they're playing against Alabama and Tennessee. But, Tony, what you ain't got to do, son, you ain't got to worry about it, because stupid boys will come up there Saturday and knock you out of the playoff. You ain't got to worry about no 10-2, son. We come up there and beat you. See, we're 3 in a row, big. We went to the Plains and won. Fired Mr. Freeze. He's done. And then we beat Florida's, but they're still in meltdown mode. 38-7, Lord. We can't lose to Kentucky 38-7. My goodness. What in the world's happening? They think the whole state's going to go underwater. And I know Mr. Holcomb said we don't have a football coach in Kentucky. I guess we're not doing very well then. We won 3 in a row without a football coach. I know he can't hear me, though, so y'all can tell him after break what I said. But everything. But I told the guy.
So Kelly has said that Kentucky doesn't have a football coach.
They don't coach. They don't coach football in Kentucky. Nobody coaches there. They don't coach. They just stand there and they don't do nothing, and they just kind of. So Mark Pope, he don't do nothing coaching basketball. He just kind of stands over and puts 5 in and 5 out.
Where are we going with this? Because this is getting old quick.
Well, because he don't think he has a football program and everything else, and we done won 3 in a row. And I told guys on SEC this morning, if we beat Florida, we're gonna win out. So Van, you better get ready. We come and take care of you Saturday, and we're gonna beat Loserville at their place. Papa John, they couldn't beat California and Clemson. We're gonna beat Louisville 7-5, go to a bowl game. George, we'll see you, babe. Have a good weekend. Go to Chattanooga, see if BGA can beat the GOAT. See you.
Merry Christmas, Jeff. If you're going to throw stones, at least be honest enough to admit when you butcher one. And believe me, your little Kentucky over Vandy prediction, you looked like an idiot. We'll go to the break on that and come back and conclude from the putting zone. Stay with us.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to donleytimmons.com. They personally manage each project themselves and are involved.
Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
George, Levy's holiday collection is packed with bold looks, cozy favorites, and gifts that will make you and your loved ones smile. Come visit us at Levy's and let us help you celebrate the holidays in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere with plenty of front door parking, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable. Levy's, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
You know what you need? Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
5-292-3400.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Those of you watching by way of podcast, I wish we could do this better. Parker, if you will, help on the camera because we don't have them quite where we need them. So just hold the camera and take it down a pretty good amount. Yeah. For those of you who are watching by way of podcast, we're going to find out who these kids are in just a second. Thaddeus Lockridge joins us at our broadcast site. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
How'd you end up here today?
I met Bill.
Bill Rosigliano.
Yes, sir. I met him doing business, and I met him, and we talked and spoke, and he spoke about giving back to the community and coming from Florida, and I told him I'd always wanted to do it, and we started conversating, and that's how we got here.
So you have been coaching basketball at all kinds of different levels for how long?
So I've been coaching about 12 years, from school ball to AAU travel basketball. So started off as an assistant coach over at Independence High School, Coach Greg Glass, Grayson Murphy from Belmont, playing overseas.
Know him well.
That was one of our players. But he coached at Centennial High School in Franklin. I coached at Page with Coach Nolan. I did Mill Creek Middle School for a couple of years and started travel basketball with FBC, which is called Finest Basketball Club. And we're out of Nashville, but we're under the umbrella of FBC, which is a national program.
Tell me about these kids.
So that group right there, a lot of those girls are the third grade group. So it's third, fourth, and fifth grade. So most of the third graders, they were actually number one in the state last year. They came in third in the nationals. So a lot of them got a little smaller right there, second grader. So we start from third grade all the way up to 11th grade. So most of these young ladies are third, fourth, and fifth.
The hard part's the funding, isn't it?
The hardest thing is the funding. We try to do fundraisers. A lot of it every summer. We want to help everybody. We want to give everybody an opportunity to play, regardless of what the funding is. We try to make sure we got the nice gear and shoes and the tops and bottoms and jerseys and So if you notice, they got on different jerseys and different shirts and different hats. So all that comes with the territory.
So we want to help make this a little bit better. Parker, if you will, come on up here. And Bill, you come up this way. And let's tilt the camera toward us for a minute. The reason we're here today, Bill Rosigliano is a guy I met, 6 months ago. Shoot down just a little bit here, Parker, where they can see what's going on. You'll notice, and I'm very proud of this, that Bill has a last-minute toy store sweatshirt on that you got over the weekend. I'm not about to do this. It's time for you to do the honors.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Bill. Let me open and see what Bill got me for Christmas. Well, got the girls for Christmas. Got a check for $3,500. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, man.
That is so cool.
Man, thank you. And so today, halfway there.
Thaddeus, how will you use this money?
One thing I'll get with a couple of my guys, and we'll design the uniforms and order them, and buy shooting shirts and put Bill's logo somewhere on one. I gotta put Bill's logo on there some kind of way.
Owned by the putting zone.
Yeah, I gotta put the putting zone on there, but that's one of the things we'll do. We'll figure out how to just get hats, shirts, hoodies, shoes. So when Bill and I spoke about that, just doing some of the stuff, and he spoke about the funding. So that was the biggest thing is funding. Like one team is, $10,000 just to travel, and that group is really good. So we try to keep them on the court.
What I love is there are people here from all walks of life, underprivileged kids. This is a real heart thing with him. And I think that's what I loved about him, was when I first met him in the summer and I was telling him about Last Minute Toy Store and all the great things that they have done. And this weekend, they made about 3,000 families Christmas a lot brighter. Ultimately, it's not about us anymore. We've passed that age a long time ago.
So, and we spoke, and I told him I'd have some of the girls come out and we'd help here. So we got a couple of families we want to help out too. So that was the whole goal, was to help. I've always wanted to do it, but now I get an opportunity to open the door. So I'm gonna try to be here every year with the girls, and we're gonna try to do as much as we can to help.
We got a big crowd in here now, and they're trying out. This has just been approved, and I don't pretend to know all the code stuff, but it's now open, and people are having a great time. The kids are having a lot of fun. This is tremendous.
This is awesome.
Thaddeus, thank you for coming over here.
Thank you, too.
Appreciate you taking the time. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you too. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.
He wanted me to give the check. I was like, no, you give it. So anyway, use it well.
I will.
I know you will.
Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Okay. So Thaddeus joins us, or is through joining us, and we're about to get to the very end of our show. Parker, if you will, come on back in here, because we do have a show to do. If you will, turn your mic off for a second. Thank you. And now let's get this show back on the road. So I really like what went on a minute ago, because Bill Rosigliano, who is the owner and the guy that masterminded this whole thing, just turned over a check for $3,500. And those kids, man, that's some powerful stuff right there.
Absolutely. That is I was just sitting here kind of observing what was going on. It was incredible. This event that's going on. It's awesome.
Let me get to Trey real quickly, because let's see what we got. Trey, I got about a minute. Do your best.
All right, thank you. First of all, this is my first time calling into a radio station. I've watched you a couple times, man. Y'all are really good up there in Nashville. Did want to talk about the Tennessee Titans. I know a dude a couple calls ago said they didn't want Mike McCarthy. I totally disagree. That man is great at what he does. Delivered 12-5 seasons for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, at this point, the Titans need whatever they can get. Cam Ward, a great quarterback in his own right, and I watched the game against the Chiefs. Overall, although Mahomes wasn't there and Minshew tore his ACL, I mean, that was a really great showing for Cam Ward, and everything that's going on out there in Nashville is pretty awesome. So I love to see that, how they're rebuilding. Vandy's football-wise, Diego Pavia, man, he's doing his thing. Maybe next year he can win the Heisman. He was pretty incredible to watch all season long, although I am an Alabama fan, and we did come back 17 down. So pretty happy about that. But I definitely just saw what y'all did there with that dude, giving him that money, and I do appreciate what y'all do out there in Nashville. So thank you for having me on, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you for the call.
Yes, of course.
So, the even though I was sicker than a dog Friday, I left you some winners.
You did leave me some winners. Shall we recap?
I think we should.
I did. Did I lose it? Oh,
no.
No, I have it. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the archives.
Right. But I mean,
that's a fine.
Oh, I had it. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. Look at me.
So the record is 98-114. Kelly, I came within a backdoor cover in the Oregon James Madison game of a total sweep.
Yeah.
That's right. You had a good weekend, George.
So tonight, Kelly, I'm going against your boy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're betting against Grandpa Phillip Rivers?
Well, look, I don't doubt that Indianapolis's defense will play really hard. Kelly, I don't see them getting a lot done offensively.
Man, it's kind of amazing, George. And we told you, we talked during the first of the season, like the coach they're playing like the best team in the National Football League, and then you get a couple of injuries, and you kind of go on a losing streak, and it's unbelievable from what we were talking about the Colts about a month and a half ago to where they are now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I don't want him to get hurt. I would like for however this plays out till the end of the year. First of all, I think we'd all love for him to have some success.
Yep.
And I thought he hung about as tough as he could humanly hang in Seattle against a really good football team. I just don't see this.
He was checking it down a bunch. He was not going to turn the ball over in his first game back, which that's understandable. End. Yeah, when you get bullets firing at you for 5 years that you haven't played. I mean, I know you've gone through practice, but it's still a little different when the bullets start flying, the lights come on. For him to not play the game in 5 years and to kind of do what he did, I'm still surprised. I wish him luck, man. I hope he does well. He's put on some pounds, as we talked about. That's going to help him from getting hurt. I certainly hope so.
Well,
some insulation.
Absolutely, he does.
It's the first time somebody putting on weight has been a positive.
I mean, that's kind of helped him. He looks like he's in hibernation mode, man.
Well, I wish him good luck, but I'm not buying it. I'm taking San Fran tonight, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, our show is done for today. I want to thank Bill Rosigliano, the owner and operator of this putting zone. If you haven't been out here yet, 3040 Sidco Drive, it's amazing. It really is. Man, they have put a lot of thought into what they're doing, and I think before it's all said and done, this is going to be a very popular hit in Nashville.
Yeah, Kelly, you'll have to come out here so we can face off and see who's the better quarterback.
Really, Parker?
That was so weak.
I mean, that is weak, and history already shows that.
And the good news is we're done. Parker, what a pitiful way to end the show. See you tomorrow.
That was so lame. That was so lame, Parker.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Brett Luna. Some scattered light showers are possible today, but rainfall amounts are going to be very low. The highs will be in the upper 50s. More light scattered showers are possible on Tuesday and Wednesday. For Christmas, we keep warming up. We'll have highs in the mid-70s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Shop Christmas deals at Electronic Express for everyone on your list.